東京荻窪のカンパチ沿いに本拠を置くスプーン。そこには妥協やマーケティングは一切存在せず、あるのはボルト一本にも息づいているシンプルなポリシーだけ。
As many of you guys know, I got my start in the Honda game. I started with the EF hatchback with the B16 swap and soon moved to the EK platform. In that, I wanted to get as close to the Civic Type R as possible, and I was lucky enough to meet a Japanese gentleman who was going to school here at CU and plugged me in. And I was able to get the red stitch shift boot, the smoked out headlights, the front lip, the stickers you see here. And in that process of converting it, built a pretty solid relationship. I was able to obtain the parts manual book for every single part in this car and the DC2 behind me. And it wasn't long before I was supplying with a lot of the shops with Civic Type R cams. When the blue Civic Si came out, the cam was like a 10 to 14 horsepower bump. And there was a time we cleaned Honda out of cams. For that performance, I was invited to Tokyo Auto Salon in 2001 and got to see the peak of, I guess one of the peaks of all of the cars that were available. And in that trip, I also got to go to the Type 1 shop and meet Tatsuro Ichishimi personally and offer his parts for sale. That day in the shop, this baby here was in the Type 1 shop. And so I've been able to complete a full circle moment for myself. I've always wanted an EK9, a real one of course. What other better way to do that than a genuine spoon demo car? This car obviously over the years has had some of the parts taken off. The original carbon hood was painted white and the wing white to match, which I personally like. So if any of you guys have played the original Gran Turismo on the PS1, this is most likely the car that you saw. This car here has been in Best Motoring, it's been in Hyper Rev magazine, it's toured all of the circuits. This was a showpiece for the Spoon brand. And as you guys know, Spoon, or if you don't know, Spoon started in the late 80s, and before Honda even had a car entered into races, Tatsuro was tuning these cars, and then obviously as Spoon developed, and Honda developed and released the Type R platform, he took Honda's perfection and made it more perfecter. And that's where we have here. So this car here has the genuine Spoon valve cover, the carbon Kevlar treatment. It has the headers all the way back to the exhaust, the Spoon mirror, the Spoon steering wheel, this cluster. Most Civic Type Rs wrap out about 95, 10 grand. This one here can go up to 11,000 RPM. So not only is this a bona fide piece of history related to automotive world, just being a Civic Type R itself, this is encapsulated in an extra piece of history, being that it is a genuine Spoon demo car. So this is a 1997 Civic Type R. It is one of the first Civic Type Rs to roll through the Spoon shop and get the Spoon treatment. Again, you can see this in Hyper Rev magazine, in the Gran Turismo game, Best Motoring. It has some true pedigree and history. This is perfect for any Honda head such as myself. It is truly a time capsule and a piece of history. When I received the car, it came in with the Civic Type R wheels. I was able to relocate some original Reggae Master Spoon wheels. We also have 2 sets of Spoon brakes. We have a brand new set, and we also have an Heritage used set, and both of those will be included with the car, and that is everything needed to complete this back to the Spoon spec that it once came in. Throughout this journey of selling the Honda parts that we didn't have here, trying to help people make replicas of what we didn't have, Ironically, the first car that I've ever imported was a Civic Type R back in 2002. But I started my journey with the Honda parts. I started my importing journey with bringing in a Civic Type R. We picked it up in Long Beach. The container was dropped in Compton, and we drove it all the way to Arizona. And so this car has a special meaning for me, not only from being an enthusiast with aspirations, but it's also been a close tie in everything that I've done in my business operations. So initially I had a DC2 Integra in storage, and when it finally arrived and tended to offer it for inventory at first sight, there's no way I could let it go. And as you guys have seen through the restoration process, I put a lot of time, energy, and care into that, and I planned on keeping it forever until I saw the Spoon demo car on GooNet. And that was an interesting story in itself. My partner in Japan reached out and said we'd like to buy it. They had said it was sold. So I got excited up here, I got the phone call that it's sold, and then a half an hour later, they called back and said, well, the guy that planned to buy it would put a deposit, he couldn't pay for another 3 months. And so my partner in Japan said, well, we can pay you right now. And then they took the deal, so boom, back up top. And so this was a roller coaster in itself. I had to wait about 6 months for this car to arrive, and then when it finally did, it was just really a surreal moment. As much time as I've spent selling these parts, being around them, to actually own a demo car that was in the Type 1 shop on my first visit was beyond words. And so it's been an honor and a privilege to own this, my first time driving it, and as you Honda guys know, in the VTEC range is where it really lights up. And to cruise through the canyons, take it out for a quick track day at IMI and really get this close to, 10,000 RPMs, it was really an exhilarating experience. So it's a full circle moment that I'm proud to be a part of, and I'm also proud to offer this Spoon demo car for sale to you guys. So if you have any questions or would like further information, reach out to us. Happy to help.